Are you seeing the stitches? What do these stitches look like to you?
Double needle.
Double needle, okay? Some double needle stitches are really close together, some are farther apart. Mine happen to be really close together, and it's depending on the machine that you use, does different things. So I'm going to measure and see how far up one of those is, so have a kind of a frame of a reference. The lower one's about 1/2 inch away. So I'm going to use that to help me figure out where to put the stitching here. Okay, so I'm right-handed, so I hold my ruler in my left and I draw with my right. And I know I don't want to sit here and wait forever for those stitches to dry. So I'm going to draw the top row first, and then I'm going to shift my ruler down and draw the next row so I don't have to wait. Does that make sense? Whereas if I drew the bottom row and shifted, I will smear it. Okay, so in that case, I think I do want to measure and see how tall the top one is. Almost 3/4 of an inch. Okay, each one of these grid lines in here is 1/8 of an inch. There's teeny tiny marks on the side that's a 1/16. If I want, let's make this easy math for you guys. Let's say this is a 1-inch hem. That's a pretty common width hem. Okay, if I want to draw a 1-inch hem here, how far away from the edge on this should I draw the stitching lines? 1/4 of an inch, okay? So where is I want to find a vertical line on my see-through ruler that's 1/4 of an inch. Is it the first line or the second line?
Second.
The second one. So I'm going to line up that second line. This is for a 1-inch hem. Here's my extra fine pen. I'm going to line up that second line directly on top of my inked in line, and you'll definitely want to practice this off on the edge. And you're going to draw a series of little teeny tiny dashes right against the ruler. And yes, this is tedious, and it's not tedious on the computer, so this is just a practice of patience, and you'll get a little faster as you go, maybe. And see how consistent you can make each stitch and each gap between each stitch. Okay, so something like that. I've got my first row. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to shift my ruler however far I want my spacing. Now at this point I don't have a line to line up, but I'm just going to try to make sure my black line is parallel to the red lines in my ruler. Okay, and more dashes. If you're super type A, you can see if you can make your dashes go in sync with each other. It's almost impossible doing it manually, so don't freak out if it doesn't do that. Just try to make them about the same size. That's our goal. I'm going to stop now. You get the idea? Okay. Now over here I have this little curve. It is going to be almost impossible to find a parallel other curve and dash around it. So we're going to try to do the stitches by eye around the sleeve because of the curve. So you're going to judge and see how far away you made it here. You can even measure to find that first stitch, that first distance up here. But then from there, I do want you just to practice seeing if you can go around the curve. And I chose a really bad hem width because I was feeling lazy about the math, and look, it's hitting the end in there. Whatever, I'll white it out. So I'm going to do this one by hand. Okay? Now, as far as the rib texture goes, the rib is the stretchier fabric on the crew neck. There's little vertical grooves, and that's where the fabric pulls apart. I don't want you to draw that in here. That's just going to make this look kind of muddy and messy. I'm going to show you a technique on the computer for how we can render that digitally. Don't worry about that in here. We're just going to be worrying about where the stitching is, whether it has double needle or single needle. Okay? Once you get a few stitches in, because this is the tedious part, this is great homework work. Okay? So practice, get a few stitches in, maybe put that stuff in your notes. What I want you to do is unpin your t-shirt, and you're going to grab one of these dress forms. These are brand new dress forms. We just got them donated last week from the manufacturer, and it was like $11,000 donation, and we are so, so happy. But we are going to treat them like gold. Each group is going to grab one dress form and you're going to gently roll it to your work area, or you can even leave it over there and do your measurements over there. You're going to take off the plastic cover. You're going to put your t-shirt on the dress form so it fits her. They're all stretchy, so you should just be able to pull them down. Try to line up the side seams so that it's not all twisty. We want it to sit nicely and have the neckline work nicely. I'm going to do the same thing over here, and I'm going to show you one last way how we can very quickly measure and draw the t-shirt a different way. It's going to be the faster of the two ways. Okay?